to the podcast where soft power meets quantum creating. My name is Ruth, a feminine energy business coach and an embodiment queen behind Reveal. This is your sacred portal for unapologetic expansion, unfiltered wisdom, and a business that flows as intuitive as you do. Let's get unhinged, magnetic, and wildly aligned. You ready for this? Like, are you seriously ready for this? Because we're about to turn the whole world upside down. Let's begin. Alright, welcome to the podcast, guys. Today's episode, right, is going to be about inner child healing and how that helps you in your business, using your inner child as your business strategist. And this is very close to my heart because I have had to do a lot of healing around my business because my business, my brand is something that I focus on. And you know what they say, when you focus on something, that's where you see growth. And when you're willing, and because you're willing to do inner work in that area, in that area where you focus on, what you love doing, that passion, your goals, that's why success, that's why you're going to see success. And that's because you have done a lot of healing in that area, it's going to translate to other areas of your life. So me, my business was the area of my life where I was willing to do as much inner work as much personal development in order to achieve my goals, you know. And with because in the process of doing a lot of inner work for my business, right, I had to do inner child healing, and that helped me in so many ways. From from healing my dear father wound and my mother wound to navigating life with cerebral palsy, with my disability. I've had to rewrite my relationship with my self worth, money, success, and visibility, or being seen. And that's stemmed from my inner child healing. But the thing that was in the amazing out of this was that every emotional healing that related to my inner child healing turned out to be one of the best and powerful brand strategies I've ever used in my business. Because out of those wounds, I got lessons and healed from them. And I then created strategies, tactics, everything I do in my business, content, even from the lessons I learned from my healing, from my wounds, you know? So my business ended up being a reflection of my own identity, of the truest self, of my truest self. The way I show up, the way I showed up the way I showed up in my business, the content I created, the marketing strategies I created, the how I aligned, how I attracted my aligned clients, everything stemmed from my inner child healing and my own identity work I have even done around it. I was able to create offers. I think I've said this before, but I was able to create my all the offers I've actually created, from building her story brand to her origin to quantum edits. Again, all these are those three offers as my signature offers, by the way, and something that I'm currently working on. I'm also currently working on smaller services too, or smaller offers too. But all three of these main offers that in my business are basically what has or stemmed or birthed from the lessons I learned from my business. Because I use my inner child a lot in my business, I was able to, it has helped me, it has made my business feel like home. It has magnetized me to my aligned client or aligned me to my ideal clients and led and helped me lead. She helped me lead with a voice that truly felt like mine. And for me, how I had to, you know, let her come true, my inner child come true, as not just as a friend or as a brand strategist or a business strategist in my business, was I had to pull out or get rid of anxiety and people around me have placed on me. You know, I want to let you know that if you've ever felt like you're building a business whilst you carrying parts of yourself that you have been told to hide, honey, this episode is for you. And I know this is going to be a long intro. This is a long intro, but 6 minutes in, I've actually not gotten to the gist of the podcast. But I'm sorry. But this is the episode for you because I'm giving you the permission slip to start creating a business that truly feels like home to you, that you actually love. Because at the end of the day, right, at the end of the day, like, you want to create a business that you actually love, and creating a business that you actually love comes from creating a business that reflects you, that reflects your inner child, that reflects who you are. And to be honest, your inner child is literally a part of your identity and who you are as a person, your truest self as a person, you know? So let's begin. Inner child healing isn't a detour. And I say it's because it's actually gets aligned creativity. Like, it's actually a way for you to be able to reconnect to yourself, to the truest part of you, without to the truest part of you, the purest part of you, the unfiltered version of you, in fact. Because and that's the one who created, who was actually created for joy, for abundance, not for performance, not for shrinking, not for trying to fit into a mold just to make people happy. No, we're not. Your inner child was not built for that. Your inner child was not made for that. Because if you look at it before the comparison, before the comparison, literally, hold up, literally, you know when you actually compare yourself to other people, was comparison came from or is from the fact that, or you compare your brand to other people's brands because of how society has by the way, built your identity, or how you perform, just so that people are happy around you, and you shrinking yourself, j- basically putting up a performance around people, and you creating your brand based on how successful, on how um you want people to feel about how you create your brand. I have not done any kind of inner work regarding healing your wounds, right? And take for instance, you are building a brand and you have business friends, maybe content creation friends or business friends. Like, you are most likely going to build a brand that reflects them, right? Because you know why I say that? Because you are you admire them, one, two, you you want to mask the fact that you have wounds. because you don't know who you are. You don't know the purest, unfiltered version of yourself. Like, at the end of the day, you're going to end up building a brand that does not reflect you. And because it does not reflect you, you are going to be, you will end up getting tired or unsatisfied with the brand you are creating or building. And because you're unsatisfied of the brand you are building, you will end up pivoting as early and as quickly as possible. And that pivoting in business is is not going to be successful because again you are what's it called, you it's not based on your identity. It's not based on who you are or your inner child because because it's like you are jumping from from one thing to another. You are not satisfied with the outcome or with the progress of the your brand building, of your business building, you know. And that is the fact, and it's the fact that you have not done the healing, the inner child healing, or the inner work, or gotten to know who you really are. And doing inner child healing is what is the path or is the process that will help you get to know who you truly are inside, without the mask, without the identities society or people around you have placed on you, you know. And we all know the fact that pivoting, right? When we pivot in our brands, in our business, it's out of most of the time it's out of the fact that we as people, we as individuals have evolved, has grown. So therefore our businesses, our brands are gonna evolve alongside us, you know. But you not doing the inner work or you not doing inner child healing is what has made you pivot out of a need that it's out of the need that the fact that the your business does not reflect you and you are not satisfied with how you are building the business is it's and that foundation and the fact that you've not done the inner work is creating a is you have pivoted on a shaky foundation. When you heal your inner child, you unblock core wounds. You unblock core wounds that keep you playing safe. There was a time during my entrepreneurial journey where I was creating content and my content wasn't landing with the right audience, with my dream clients. It was going into the void of social media, honestly. And part of the reason why my content wasn't landing with the right audience was because I didn't take time to develop my brand story and messaging. It was all wrong. I positioned myself as the hero, not the guide, and that pushed the right clients away. And that made me not to produce the right content for the right people, you know. So I had to stop. I had to stop and dig deep into my journey, into the lessons I've learned, into the transformation that I have gained throughout my journey. Those small little transformations I've gained throughout my journey, and the big main one I've also gained, you know. I'm able to create content that lands with the right audience. I'm able to use my story to attract the right clients to me. Sales has improved, my social media is finally growing, you know, and that's all began with creating and developing a brand story that I'm actually proud of. And this is what I'm going to help you do. With the brand story and messaging audit, I'm going to help you develop a story, a brand story, and messaging that you're actually proud of so you can attract the right clients with clarity and confidence. Head over to the show notes below to book a session today. I keep you people pleasing in your work, like creating a business that does not actually reflect you because you're following other people's advice. I feel like with inner child healing, right? Sorry, because we if you have done if you have not done inner child healing, if you have not done any kind of inner work regarding healing your wounds, right? And take for instance, you are building a brand and you have business friends, maybe content creation friends or business friends. Like you are most likely going to build a brand that reflects them, right? Because you know why I say that? Because you are you admire them, one, two, you you want to mask the fact that you have wounds because you don't know who you are. You don't know the purest, unfiltered version of yourself. Like at the end of the day, you're going to end up building a brand that does not reflect you. And because it does not reflect you, you are going to be, you will end up getting tired or unsatisfied with the brand you are creating or building. And because you're unsatisfied of the brand you are building, you will end up pivoting as early and as quickly as possible. And that pivoting in business is is not going to be successful because again you are what's it called you it's not based on your identity. It's not based on who you are or your inner child because because it's like you are jumping from from one thing to another. That because you are not satisfied with the outcome or with the progress of the your brand building, of your business building, you know. And that is the fact, and it's the fact that you have not done the healing, the inner child healing, or the inner work, or gotten to know who you really are. And doing inner child healing is what is the path or is the process that will help you get to know who you truly are inside without the mask, without the identities society or people around you have placed on you, you know. And we all know the fact that pivoting, right? When we pivot in our brands, in our business, it's out of most of the time it's out of the fact that we as people, we as individuals have evolved, has grown. So therefore our businesses, our brands are gonna evolve alongside us, you know. But you not doing the inner work or you not doing inner child healing is what has made you pivot out of a need that it's out of the need that the fact that the your business does not reflect you and you are not satisfied with how you are building the business is it's and that foundation and the fact that you've not done the inner work is creating up is you have pivoted on a shaky foundation because you've not done the inner work, and that foundation is the inner work, and that foundation is the inner work or inner child healing. Let's characterize them into the same thing. That inner work basically. So you've got to be able to create. When you do inner child healing, when you heal your inner child, you unblock core ones. You unblock core ones that keep you playing safe, that keep you people pleasing in your work, like creating a business that does not actually reflect to you because you're following other people's advice. Take for instance, I remember there's this lady that comes to mind. What's her name? Oh, I can't remember her name. She said she burned down her seven-figure business because she was following other people's advice. What I got from from her building a seven-figure business that she burnt down was the fact that I don't know why my voice is cracking. I'm sorry, guys. The fact that maybe she had not done inner work healing all, at all. You know, she was not. She didn't get to know herself. She didn't get to know the truest version of herself. You know, she was basically creating a business from a wounded place, and because she had that wound. Maybe she had. Again, we don't know her inner wound. She sought out business advice or business. I know because she said she had um a YouTube strategist at some point in her business that gave her that told her how to create that she should create a piece of her thumbnails a certain way, and even though she didn't like it, she liked it. She didn't know, even though she didn't like it, she went with it because it's because the guy was small. She felt like the guy was small, you know, um, was successful. He was successful in his space. You know, she did not. She did. She valued his opinion again, and so she didn't end up. And she did not. And so she did not end up valuing her own opinion and sticking to the fact that she wanted her own content, her own thumbnails to showcase what she represents and what her brand represents. She valued people's opinions more than her own, and that could stem from people pleasing. That could stem also come be linked back to a deep inner wound that she had not even healed, or basically she doesn't even know about. So yeah, everything links back to deep core wounds your inner child is still going through today, and which are what is going to help you, and by healing them is what's going to help you build a successful business. Another thing is also when you heal your inner child, you reclaim play and curiosity. And what I mean by this is that it helps you, create content, create business strategies, create a business that actually feels fun. That actually is flowed from, it stems from innovation and creativity. That you actually start playing with ideas or ideas that come from intuition. I think I'm going to do a podcast episode about using intuition as a strategy in your business, but that's another topic for another day. But because you are because you are in a state of play in your business, or you're playing in your business, you're more in line in willing to go with ideas that just come or into inspirations that come from anywhere anywhere from intuition, you know, and doing or going by ideas that come from intuition are what is going to boost you further in your business because one and as well, right, the third one I would say is healing your inner child helps dismantle the shame or fear that keeps you from showing up fully you know, especially in your messaging or your brand, you know, how you shop online, what type of offers or message you write about your offers, you know, and because it's, it dismantles the fear or shame around showing up fully, or even your messaging makes you it makes you, because it dismantles the fear. That way, going, you end up showing up fully, as well as creating a brand message, whether it's your brand or for your offers, or for any single thing, adverts. If you're doing adverts in your business, you know, you end up creating brand messaging that aligns you and your ideal clients, because your ideal clients then see themselves in you, then see themselves in your messaging, which will then attract them to you. Your your brand messaging actually shows your authenticity, you being authentic basically. Because honestly, I cannot pronounce that word. So let's use the word transparency. It shows your transparency, which again is magnetic to your aligned clients. You know, it's all connected. It's all connected. Something I do that how I use my inner child as a strategist in my business is the fact that I let her weigh in on decisions. Like, take for example, okay, going back, let's use my father one for example, and how that reflects to using her as a, using not using her, but her weigh in on business decisions is the fact that when I was healing my inner wound, right? Sorry, when I was healing my father wound, right? I let her stay. I imagine her with me, both releasing the wound together. You know, for my father wound, I first wrote a letter to my father of everything that I wanted to say to him, and then I invited or imagined my inner child with me, and we both, you can either, two ways you can do this, and we can either burn the letter or submerge the letter underwater. I choose to submerge the letter underwater, and said a few, like a minute prayer when I was submerging the water. Sorry, was submerging the letter in the water, just to release the trapped emotions, as well as let go of those wounds. You know, and what I did was that I told my inner child that let's how my inner child was involved in the whole process was the fact that we said the prayer to release the wound and to let go of the the wound, the unresolved wounds and feelings we had about our father, basically my father, basically. So that was it. So we did that together. I involved her. She got to, just as me was just as I was releasing my wound, she was also releasing her wound. So we did it together. So now, how that relates to business is the fact that I let her, I asked basically, honestly, I asked her, what do you think we should do? Literally, that's this literally question I asked her. What do you think we should do concerning this plan, concerning this strategy, concerning moving forward from this? What product can we create that's going to be nice, that's going to be fun, that's also fun for us to create, fun for us fun for our audience or clients to take, or to go through. And she tells me that's how I've been able to create, use her as a brand strategist, not use her, how she has been able to weigh in as a brand strategist. Or I sometimes I can even ask her what kind of, you know, marketing do we do to what kind of, how can we attract our, how how can we attract our ideal clients or the right clients to this offer. And she will tell me, you know, and most of the time the ideas are usually fun ideas, ideas that don't actually restrict me, ideas that don't actually shrink me, that 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 are easy for me to do and fun for me to do. Those are kind of ideas she comes up with, and honey, I honor them. I make her proud by doing them, by not, you know, logicking my way out of it. When I mean logicking my way out of it, I mean coming up with ways why I cannot do that. Because coming up with ways why I cannot do that is what's gonna, how do I say it now? That does not make you feel bad now. It's what's gonna kill her slowly, make her mute and not say anything or speak on anything again. You know? So yeah, when your inner child tells you things that you should do in your business, no, you've got to do them. And she said it because it will make her speak up the more. It will make her feel as if she's valued, she's loved. Because if you're saying that, if you're healing your inner child and you're telling her that I'm sorry you felt that way. I want to let you know that you're loved, you're valued, you are seen, you're understood, and you're telling her those things during your meditation, right? Your inner child meditation, your inner child healing. And when it comes to your business, you're not actually showing her that she's understood, she's heard, she's seen, she's loved. By you doing those things she said you should do, that's going to make her feel worse than she already did before. It will make her feel worse because it's like you are the one betraying her. She's not betrayed by any other person, but she's betrayed by you, literally by herself. You know, she's betrayed by herself. Yeah, yeah, she's betrayed by you, and you are also her. So it's self betrayal. How my inner child became a compass for my truth, joy, and alignment in my business, whether it was strategy, whether it was content creation, whether it was marketing, whether it was in every area of my business. She became she became a guide for me in order to find alignments, in order to go with decisions that felt aligned to me, that gave me joy, that helped me speak my truth or share my truth to the world. You know, and for me, right, I felt like I felt like the more I included her in my content creation, for example, in my in designing of us, for example, or choosing what felt good for me, like in terms of strategy or a tactic, or partnering with a company or a brand, sorry, um, yeah, partnering with a company or a brand, the more magnetic and aligned everything became for me. You know, everything, all the struggles that people would have when you're trying to figure out a business strategy, a brand deal, things like that, or implementing a strategy in their business, I did not find it hard anymore. Like I usually do, if when I like I did previously in those 5 to 10 just 5 years that I was trying to become an influencer. And in those 5 to 10 years where I did not, you know, do any healing, any kind of inner work while trying to be. And during that time, I was trying to be an influencer. I did not do any inner work or personal development. You know, and those times I was, and during that time I was hustling. But now coming back into, but now that I've started my business again, I'm doing inner work, healing my inner child, doing the work basically. Everything has been, I'm not gonna lie, it's not that the work is hard, but it is more enjoyable, more playful, more this pleasure in my day-to-day business, in my day-to-day business dealings or operation. You know, it's not I, I won't say the work or the what I have to do, strategies I have to do, I have to take in my business, decisions I have to take in my business are hard. They're not more hard. They're, they, they're still. It's not that it's challenging. It. They are challenging, but with I find it easier to maneuver and to go about it because I'm doing it with my inner child. And she's teaching honestly, as much as I'm reparenting her, like this is how you ought to have been parented when we're both little. She's teaching me things that I ought to be doing right now. Again, with the playfulness, with me, yeah, with the playfulness. She as I'm teaching her, she's with me teaching her things. She's also teaching me things. She's reminding me of who I was before the world put their identities on me. You know, before I became ruled by, I cared about what the world thought about me. Before, you know, yeah. With her by my side, I stopped creating from shoulds. That should I do this? Or I should, sorry, I should create content this way. I should create content like her. And I started creating content from play. Again, bringing the playful aspect into my business. And again, I won't say it's easier. It is easier, but it has been less challenging without her. You know, it has been less challenging with her by my side. My best downloads, every decision, every strategy, every single thing I've done in my business came from after dancing, after working out, like I explained before, after working out, after dancing, after, you know, laughing and playing and messing around with and playing music, while cleaning the house, or walking around, walking on the streets, that those downloads, those inspiration I got from God, from my intuition, from my intuition, those weren't random. That was her guiding me back to how I access joy and my originality in this world. Literally, she was guiding me back to my original blueprint that God created me with, you know. And now to be honest, she's part of every launch, she's part of every brand post, she's part of every marketing idea. And she hasn't just healed a wound, she's a strategy. She's my edge in this industry that I'm in, honestly. And she's who she's who, sorry, she tells me, she guides me on the type of clients that I want to work with, you know. So something you've got to understand, something you've got to do is, you know, something you got to understand. So let's take it back to you. Your truest brand isn't something you build, it's something you uncover, and your inner child holds the blueprints. She's your guide in creating a successful business, you know. Um, and also your creativity lives where your joy goes. The more fun, the more playful you have, the more play basically you have in your business, the more fire you create, the more beautiful, awesome, best thing content. I have no idea what to say right now. But the more awesome pieces of content, more awesome offers you create in this world. That's what your best ideas. That's what births your best thing you offer in the world. You offer in the world. And so that's what births the best course, program, any other thing you sell in the world, you share with the world, or yeah, you sell with the world. You know, your inner child knows the truth about your worth. She does. All you have to do is ask her, ask her if you're actually going to go viral with this piece of content. Ask her, do we things like, do we love this? And when you stop hiding your past, you unlock your future. You're not too sensitive, you are strategic as fuck. Honestly, you are a freaking strategist. You are a freaking strategist. And you need to act like her. You need to act like her. Always invite her. I'm not going to say, not just in business, right? Always invite her in on a daily basis, or your day to day thing, operations. I have no idea what. On how, well, on a daily basis, please. Like, let her help you design, dream, disrupt. Let her ask any big questions, like any big what ifs, because she's not your weakness. She's your wellspring. She's the she she she's the link to your unlimited pool of ideas, because literally your best content, your best, I don't know what I'm saying content, but your best idea in when it comes to your creation of, when it comes to you creating things, whether it's content, whether it's program, whether it's services, whether it's anything you're actually going to share with the world, is going to come from your inner child. And those are the things that is going to sell the most, that's going to give you the money, or the abundance you want, because it came from joy. It came from the purest part of you, and the more on your unfiltered part of you. And that is what connects people to you, or you align people to you, you know? I'm sorry if this actually sounds a little bit weird, or the audio is not that good, but I'm using my phone right now to record the video, this podcast, the meaning of this podcast, because my mic died and I forgot to plug it in, But let's get on with this podcast. So, I've got homework for you guys, and the homework is just journal these prompts that I'm gonna give, and we so journal prompts or journal prompts. You can actually meditate on these prompts. You can ask yourself these prompts during your meditation, or you can journal these prompts in your journal. For me, I prefer meditation, so I ask myself these questions. If you're doing a meditation, right, you ask yourself one question per meditation. Because if you ask yourself all three of these prompts, you're gonna overwhelm your subconscious and your nervous system. But if you are journaling, you can journal all three prompts. Whatever you guys choose, I want you to answer these prompts honestly, and I want you to literally be patient with your subconscious to be able to come up with all the answers for these prompts. Don't logic it. When I mean logic, don't make it mix. Don't let it. If it sounds and feels like it doesn't make sense, let it go. Don't try and put a logic spin on it. So question one, prompts. The first prompt is, what part of myself did I have to hide to feel safe growing up? And how is that still showing up in my business today? But this particular prompt, right, it exposes your protective patterns, like, your perfectionism. I don't know how to pronounce that word, but you being perfect, you overgiving, and you constantly shrinking yourself. These are all protective ways you try and protect yourself, and these are things that can still be driving your strategies, your business strategies that can still be showing up in your business today. Take, for instance, instead of you just creating content, a piece of content, speaking from your soul, you are writing a script so that you're writing a script, you're scripting out your content fully, so you don't go on a tangent or speak out of point. The prompt is, what parts of myself did I have to hide to feel safe growing up? And how is that still showing up in my business today? So, prompt 2, the second prompt is, if my inner child had her own business, what would she create? And how would she want people to feel? And now this prompt is a beautiful way to reimagine your brand alignment from a place of joy, creativity, and authenticity. Because the way I feel like when you answer these prompts, your inner child will come out. She'll write through you, and she will design a business or create a business on that piece of paper differently from what you're actually doing now. And to show you where in your business you need to start implementing her own version of the business, in order to achieve the success you want. And again, I'm going to say the second part again. The second prompt is, if my inner child had her own business, what would she create? And how would she want people to feel? The third prompt is, when did I first learn that my worth was tied to my performance? And what would it mean to release that belief today? Alright, if this episode starts something new, if you start seeing yourself, seeing your inner child whispering through your brand, your boundaries, and your business, don't ignore that. Because my upcoming program called The Rooted Self is designed to help you reconnect with your core identity, release performative branding, and lead your business from a place of embodied self-worth. It's for the woman who's done the mindset work but still feels disconnected from her truth. It's where we root before we rise. And if you're ready to go deeper into your most aligned visibility and brand expression, the Becoming Her Story method is where strategy meets soul. This is for the entrepreneur who's ready to embody her message, her silent CEO energy, and lead a brand that reflects her true story, not a filtered one. The business you are building should feel like a homecoming, not a performance at the end of the day. So join the waiting list or send me a DM on TikTok. On there I'm called Revel. Alright, you can step deeper into your becoming. If this episode cracks something open for you, don't keep it quiet. Share it and tag me on TikTok. And on there, I'm called Revel. And let your ripple begin. Honey, let your ripple begin. Until next time, stay radiant, stay rooted, and keep creating your own damn timeline.